and welcome to the podcast where three friends discuss environmental policies from around the planet. So let's really get into this overfishing and whaling question. Ajwa, what do you think?
So I'm going to let you take the lead here, Ala. But I do think that the problem with overfishing that we've mostly found is also in waters that are contested, right? Mm-hmm. Like China claiming ownership over the South China Sea just because it has the word China in it. I don't know. It's like India saying all of Indian Ocean is their territory to use and abuse. Which, by the way, they're doing really good keeping that territory safe. Like they returned the UAE princess trying to escape. That was all these Indian sailors. They were like, here, we are presenting our daughter back to you.
Oh my God,
poor girl. But the problem is that when it comes to fishing of endangered and at-risk marine wildlife, like China is actually a big problem. Japan is at least limiting its activities and scale of hunting in areas of operation. But China is just like, they're very rapacious in its own fishing. And because there's like such a high Chinese demand for like shark fins, and it causes for more than 60 million of that animal group to be killed each year. And there are some nations like Ecuador that are trying to take like a very stronger action to counter these Chinese fishing fleets.
Yeah.
But a lot of them just turn a blind eye to, let's be real, we do turn a lot of blind eyes to a lot of injustice that happens around the world just because they don't fit the narrative.
That is very true.
Yeah, like we have children that are dying of hunger. I think overfishing is the least of problems in the world that people want to be addressing. But it's still a thing.
Yeah, it's still a thing.
And being in the US, how US is always like, no, but China's doing it so much worse. China's doing it so much worse. Let's attack China. The thing is, even the US's own economic policy does not let it come out for China like that. Biden tried to go out for Saudi Arabia with the whole Khashoggi thing and literally walked back with his tail between his legs because you can't. Like, there are some global dynamics when it comes, like power dynamics when it comes to things like these. Although this one organization that I would want to mention, which is the Whale and Dolphin Conservation, which is the WDC, and it has helped with the hot mess that the EU markets can be. They actually completed a review of Danish regulations on whale meat imports into Denmark, which actually resulted in changes to Danish law, and rules for import are now much stricter. Yep. And they also exposed and stopped illegal online whale meat sales in Japan, including in dog treats. Did you know they were putting fucking whale meat in dog treats?
Why is there whale in dog treats? Like, you're killing
My dog does not need to eat whale. I think he'll be okay.
Yeah, salmon is enough.
But it's just, the thing is, it's a profitable thing because what they do is they gather as many fish as possible. What they use. The rest. The waste in this world is still such a massive problem. And overfishing is, honestly, if you look at all the bycatch that happens, that they technically consider waste, but they're still doing it.
That's
what leads to most of our problems in the world, I'll be honest.
So the thing about whaling, I'm going to tell you guys a little bit of like why we still have it and the efforts like to stop it. So the International Whaling Commission at the IWC is the global body that is charged with the conservation of whales and like managing whaling. They started in 1946, and so this is how the whole thing went down. And just by the way, there was a moratorium on commercial whaling in 1982. In general, they agreed to it, but Japan and Norway voted against this moratorium. There were quotas before. They used to set quotas, which I don't know why they thought that'd work, but they were there. And then countries were just like, okay, thanks for telling us we can't do more than this. And they just fucking said, yeah, we just caught less. That was what they did with the quotas. So.
Yeah.
I don't know what the point was supposed to be.
The kind of regulation that you have, that's literally all you need to get away.
Yeah. They're like, oh, we did a thing. And they were like, you thought, haha. Anyway, in the 1970s, they decided to issue protections for the Indian and Atlantic Oceans, which, okay, that started to work. But then they were like, any whaling in this area is for research, and they caught Japan lying about this research. I just wanted to I'm gonna get to this, but I was just like, so again, they were just like, sure, yeah, this is for scientific whaling. That's the loophole, and it's not really whatever. Anyway, so at the 1982 meeting, then they had the proposal for the moratorium, and the Seychelles actually introduced it. It came into effect 4 years later in 86. They really took their time. And it was like 25-7, and then 5 people abstained. Japan, Norway, and the USSR lodged objections just to get exemptions from the moratorium. Iceland did not lodge an objection, but then they left. They were like, okay, no, we're not going to object. You guys, that's cool. And then, like, in 1992, they were just like, bye. And they came back 10 years later. So all of them, so Norway, Japan, and Iceland are the really big ones that continue to have commercial whaling. Norway, they were like, yeah, we'll join. But then 5 years later, they dipped. They just left. And they just resumed commercial whaling.
That's so funny to me.
Yeah. They were just like, okay,
we're out.
Basically. So since then, they have taken over 6,880 whales or something like that under objection. These people just be objecting to everything. I object. Okay, thanks for objecting. And they just continue. I'm sorry. I don't know why this is cracking me up. It's a really serious problem. It is
pretty funny. It's hilarious for me.
Yeah, but it's a serious problem, you guys. In 06-07, Iceland took 60 minke whales under special permit for scientific whaling. By 2006, they were like, okay, so, haha, this has been fun. By the way, this was the second time that Iceland left this moratorium. They left twice. Yeah. They were like,
they really tried.
They really tried. Yes. They were like, we gave it our best shot. We tried twice. And then they issued quotas for 30 minke whales and 9 fin whales a year, which is not whatever. And then Japan has killed about 8,200 in the Antarctic for scientific purposes since the moratorium in 1986.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And before the moratorium, they were killing less, actually. 31 years. They had a special permit before the moratorium. And they killed 840 in that time. 07-08, they increased their quota to 50 humpback whales and 50 fin whales. And then eventually, Japan was like, all right, this has been fun. So in 2018, they left too. Oh, God. Everybody keeps leaving. And they were just like, we're going back to commercial whaling. And they said they can sustainably do it.
Okay, well, let's hope so. I don't even know why you need to catch whales, but apparently.
I was like, yeah, I don't understand. Like, they don't have a lot of value. Like, they're very fatty, and the fat was used for oil before, but now we have fossil fuels, so it's like double damage. At least pick one of the lesser. I don't even know. Anyways, they've shifted it to their own coastal waters. That thing you said about owning your own waters or whatever. And the WWF does not believe it's sustainable, and they think it's dangerous. So I'm going to listen to scientists. Norway and Iceland, they have like fishing vessels that also have quotas for whales. And there are companies in those countries that process whale meat.
Yeah, but can I just say, I understand where you're like, oh, I'm going to trust the scientists on this. Sometimes, not always, almost never, but sometimes scientists are a little aloof from reality, if that makes sense.
No, I agree, but that's, like, that's the thing. I think, like, policymakers are sometimes too, like, focused on what they consider output, and then, because they're influenced by business, and then scientists, you said, like, yeah, are very removed. That's why I think they have to meet in the middle. I definitely agree. So the thing is, the membership is approximately split between whaling and non-whaling nations. So, and it's kind of even. And the thing is, like, they need 3/4 majority of the votes to be able to make major changes. So they've just been stuck like that for a while as more keeps splitting away from non-whaling. That's why they can't make any big changes. But recently, good news, apart from organizations like the one Audra mentioned, supermarkets who sell fish have been taking a stand against whaling in the EU. Thank you guys for listening to this bonus extra policy. We love that. Ask us more questions and we will try to do more of these. Yeah, check out the rest of the episodes and keep learning, pals. Bye.